Welcome to the Gentle Tire Jim Beaver Show. And man, let me tell you, we got a lot to fill you in on this week. And we're doing things a little bit different today. So if things seem a little choppy or I'm out of sorts, I won't be out of sorts. I'll be all over the place today. I can guarantee you that. But it's because for the first time, I'm actually trying to record the national radio show and the YouTube version of the show all at one time. If I can figure this out, it means I can produce more content because I can do double the amount of work in the same amount of time previously, which is all good for you guys. So we will see if we can make this happen. I would love to be able to have the shows almost identical on both platforms, but it is a work in progress nonetheless. But no guest today because I have so much stuff to chime in on. Obviously, I've had a crazy summer so far, starting with the debut of our Mach-E rally, our Mustang Mach-E rally with Ford out there at the Electrify Expo in Los Angeles. Also been in Hawaii for 2 weeks. A little trip to Minnesota in between. We got movies, TV to talk about. Huge news from Kawasaki dropping the all-new Teryx H2. We've got some huge drama from Sweeney. Nintendo Switch 2 came out. I think I just mentioned that. Lots of TV shows. I want to talk a little bit about Happy Gilmore and then some crazy shenanigans going on in the world of motorsports with IndyCar, selling part of their assets. Penske Entertainment did to Fox Television. Just crazy. So I'm going to be all over the board today. This is what you come to expect from me. Lots to fill you in on, and I am looking forward to it. Just really just regurgitating everything that's going on in my life. So, yes, thank you guys for being a part of my madness and this trial run today to see, how things go and what we can do here with a show and obviously trying to do 2 shows all in one. So we're going to take a short break. For those of you watch the YouTube version, it isn't going to be a break, but we'll be back here on the Gentle Tire Jim Beaver Show and back after this.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
So welcome back here to the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. And not welcome back for those of you watching the YouTube version, but we're going to have a bit of that. But good reason is because we're trying to do 2 at once. I don't know how I'm going to slide the commercials in there for the YouTube version quite yet. So maybe we'll film in those breaks. So anyways, enough with me rambling. Yes, lots to talk about, lots going on in the world. I can't wait to get back to some guests. Let me tell you who we've got coming up on the show very soon. One of my favorite dudes, Rick Thorne, the man in black. Pro BMX rider, you know him from X Games. I mean, he rode for Hoffman Bikes, been around forever, still around. We're gonna have Rick Thorne on later this month. I've got my good friend Megan Meyer, pro drag racer, also got a media marketing company. Gonna have her on at some point. I know we talked with Mike Rooftop Escamilla. Might have him on at some point. I'm just trying to think who else, man. I know we've talked about possibly getting Bucky Lassick, a General Tire teammate of mine, on. So a little bit of action sports side there. But, man, I've got some musicians. I know our good friend Royal Lynn just dropped a new album a couple weeks back. If you guys missed that, go listen to this. Absolutely mind-blowing how good Royal Lynn's new album is. And we're trying to track down Royal and get her on. I say track her down. Her and I have been in contact. She's just busy because she's got one of the biggest albums in the entire country right now. Getting rid of her country roots, going full rock and roll, and man, it's metal. It's amazing. So yes, we've got that. But do want to say I mentioned Rick Thorne. Got to show this off. I had it sitting there in the back, but my boy Rick Thorne, those of you watching the YouTube version, they're going to get this. You're watching the audio version, better go watch the YouTube version. But Rick Thorne just sent me one of his hats one of his Stay Rad hats, signed it, Rick Thorne 2025. So show that off there to the YouTube version. Also, he's got his patented Stay Rad underneath it. So this is going to actually go up in the studio. Not wearing this one. I'm going to put it next to that signed Red Bull hat of Mia Chapman's I've got. So I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. We're going to start having signed hats from these rad athletes in the studio here. But big shout out to my boy Rick. I do know he sells those online. So if you want a signed Rick Thorne hat that he's put Stay Rad on underneath the bill, head over to his Instagram, slide into his DMs, and yeah, Rick would probably love to send you over a hat. But other stuff. My boy Lauren, I think you guys probably saw it up on my Instagram. I was a guest on his podcast. I want to give a big shout out to those boys there, Mad Dog, and his podcast, because I think they hit 115 episodes, and they had me as guest 115. So I was really stoked on that. Obviously, my number 15. Yeah, go and check out that interview I did over there and his podcast. Rad, especially if you like power sports and things like that. So anyways, fast forward. Let's talk about the big news coming from Kawasaki. Yes, Kawasaki, worst kept secret in the world. I don't want to say worst kept secret. There've been a lot worse secrets, a lot worse. But secret from Kawasaki, the H2. Obviously, they teased it earlier this year. You saw Carson Warnemont with a new Kawasaki race car earlier this year in the desert, raced the H2 at the Mint 400. And then obviously things went silent. There's been some leaks, some teasers, stuff like that. Cali's been doing killer job on the teasers. We knew it was going to be 250 horsepower. So they launch the all-new Kawasaki Teryx H2 yesterday. Internet's exploding. 250 horsepower side by side. 4-seater, comes on 33-inch tires. This thing is a fire-breathing beast, 74 inches wide, big width, long travel, like 24 inches in the rear, almost 24 in the front. I mean, this thing is absolutely a monster. The interior is full, like automotive grade touchscreen paneling. They've got touchscreen panel in the center. They've got a digital dash display for the driver, 4-point harnesses from the factory, wicked stereo system in this thing. Not really many options because it is literally loaded from the factory. I think pretty much the main option is if you want electronic suspension or not. Callie's got that KECS system, KECS. But I did a full walk around on the YouTube channel, so go and check that out. But man, huge news from Kawasaki. This thing, I've talked to people who have driven it. I have not. I knew what it was, and I saw the pre-production stuff. I was on a gag order, but I haven't physically driven one myself. The people I've talked to that have say it is absolutely every bit of what you think it is. So I think Kawasaki actually has a proper rival to the Polaris Pro R and the Can-Am, what is it, the Maverick X3? I get Can-Am's lines mixed up, but obviously they're a big car. The one Phil Blurton's racing, the one that Kyle Chaney ran at King of the Hammers. We're talking, their flagship model. So, you've got the Can-Am, the Polaris, and now Cowie with a flagship model, all similar in horsepower. Cowie's got them by a hair. Track width, same on the Polaris as it is on the Cowie. I think Can-Am's a hair wider. One thing I do love about the Cowie, it's the 4-seater is a hair shorter than the Pro R and the Can-Am, which, man, some of these things are getting to be limousine. So really tip of the cap and applaud Kawasaki to shortening things up. Those others are just so damn long. It's crazy. So really stoked on that. I'm just trying to think of anything I missed. I mean, one of the cool things is they went to 16-inch wheels. I don't know if the 16-inch wheels are to clear the big brakes. They did put better brakes on this thing. I don't know if it has to have 16s to clear the calipers and the rotors, or if you can put 15s on it. Only reason I mention that is the 16s are a little tough to get on the aftermarket side. Most are running 15s. Obviously 17s and the mud crowd are around. You don't really want to do that for a desert car because then you lose tire sidewall. And even with 33s, and I'm sure people are going to immediately put 35s on this thing, it's a little tough. You know, it's still a little rough ride. So I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got that answer. They did go to a 5-lug pattern, assuming it's probably the 5 on 4.5, which is what is it? A 5 on 114 is a millimeter, something like that. But I think 5 on 4.5 is what Polaris is. It's a pretty standard automotive size. So hoping it's a 5 on 4.5, but I haven't got confirmation on that yet either. So yeah, we'll have to find out more information, and I don't know when these things are going to be available to dealers. Obviously, a lot of you listen to the show probably are familiar or are going to the Sand Sports Show in Costa Mesa next month. It's weird to say next month because we're in August now. Recording this August 1st. It's airing nationally, August 3rd on a Sunday morning. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to say. The summer just flew by, especially for me. So, yeah, funny thing, this weekend coming up, or when this is airing, will actually be the first weekend I have stayed in my house in over 2 months. I had content trips after content trips, you know, car build, and then we were in Los Angeles at Electrify Expo, which I'll get into in the next segment. We're actually going out to Dallas, bringing the parade, bringing everything to Dallas here in November. We got a lot of stuff happening between now and then. I think Scarlet Witch may be getting a revision, and we're relaunching that for SEMA, possibly Sand Sports Show. So some rad stuff happening in my world. I got some new partners coming on. Obviously, you see Tuffy Security Products and SureCan. Big shout out to those guys for coming on board with the show and with everything I'm doing. Man, some new partners coming in, and really just blessed and stoked to be where we're at and continue to crank out these podcasts. So, yeah, a lot to talk about in this show. Obviously, if you guys are tuning in, next segment, we're going to switch over and talk a little less on the Cowie and a little more on things like that. But I'd love for you to guys to chime in, whether it's on Instagram on my posts or YouTube version of the show or Twitter. Chime in. Let me know what you think of the Cowie H2. I would love to know your feedback. You know, a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people are asking for a 2-seater. I'm pretty sure that's coming in the pipeline sometime in the future. They launched the 4-seater, which is going to be lion's share of the market. So I get it if you're a 2-seat guy, but no, or girl, but know that 2-seaters are very limited market compared to the 4-seaters. Especially when you start getting into the flagship cars. You know, not many people want to spend 40+ K on a 2-seat UTV. 4-seater with a whole family, big horsepower, yeah, it's an easier sell. But you know, and I know that the width on these aren't good for some areas of the country too because of the trailheads and stuff like that. So anyways, we're going to take a short commercial break, come back. We've got a lot to talk about right here on the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. And we're back here on the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. And well, where do we want to go? I was just funny during the break. I was looking at my wall, and I've had quite a few comments, not necessarily publicly, a lot of DMs on Instagram. So if you see, if you've seen those of you listening nationally, you won't be able to see it. Those of you watch a YouTube version, you will. But I've got some arcane artwork on the studio walls, and people are like, man, you must be like a real geek. Well, I actually am a real geek. If you haven't noticed, I mean, I've got car builds named Electra, car builds named Scarlet Witch, car builds named Jessica Jones, car builds named Livewire, all weird, goofy, not weird, but obscure female superheroes. I'm a geek. Yeah, you know, I'll own that. But I've got some arcane artwork on the walls, and I've had some questions on it, and they're like, wow, that's rad. You know, you're arcane. I am an arcane fan. One of the best animated series, movies, anything animated you can think of, probably one of the best in the history of animation. And I think it actually just got voted like top 10 of all time, like animated series or something like that. Phenomenal. Even if you're not, you know, ignore the animated, just the writing is phenomenal in it. Just such a good written, produced, scripted show. It's phenomenal. But the artwork, those of you watching online can see two of the three pieces. The third piece, maybe I'll have to, I'll throw something up on Instagram so you guys can see it. But the bottom piece, I just liked it's that metal artwork. It's actually textured, but it's like three pieces. The bottom one is Jinx crossing the bridge. And it's just one of those, like, if you see the scene in the show, it's kind of one of those, like, sometimes you just got to walk your own path. You know what I mean? And you've got to walk that path alone. The second one is just Jinx sitting in the recliner, like, back, and it's kind of a badass look. And it's, it's more of that anti-hero because truthfully in this industry, I've been an anti-hero at times. Sometimes you got to do things a little bit different to get things accomplished. But it's all for the greater good. And then the third one is actually, you can't see it, but it's Vi, and she's got Jinx's hands covering her eye and Vi's screaming. And it's one of those where Vi's one of the toughest women on the planet, and even the toughest get scared. So it's cool, three pieces of artwork, and there's actually meaning to it. It's not just me throwing geeky stuff up there, but kind of cool. I dug it. Anyways, yes. So moving on, we've talked about Kawasaki today. I want to talk about my trip to Hawaii because I absolutely freaking love Hawaii. And if you haven't ever been, you need to go. But I do things different, and I get a lot of people ask me, and it's funny. My DMs on Instagram have absolutely blown up over the course of my trip and afterwards, because I don't post what you saw posted, and I've got a reel that I got to edit that's halfway edited right now that we're going to drop and stuff like that. I do Hawaii. I do my traveling in general different. Especially when I go to Hawaii. A lot of people, they go to the big cities. They go to Honolulu, Waikiki, and stuff like that. I absolutely despise Honolulu and despise Waikiki. I don't like it. And for those of you that actually have been there and you went, like, props. Some people absolutely love Honolulu and Waikiki. To me, it's Los Angeles on the ocean. I just don't care. Same reason I don't generally go to Los Angeles area beaches. I would much rather go to Mission Beach in San Diego. It's got a little bit more local vibe. I don't like big city beaches. Funny enough, I would say I don't like big cities, but I absolutely adore New York City. So I can't say that, but it's just, if I'm going to go to a tropical vacation, I don't want to do it in a big city, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So when I go to Hawaii, I do it differently. And so it's, I get a house. I've got to know a lot of friends, and I go to the North Shore. Obviously, what is it? 7 Mile Miracle, I think they call the North Shore. And that's north of Haleiwa. But I stay in Haleiwa, Wailua area. I've got to know a lot of friends, rent a house right on the beach. 10 feet off my patio is the ocean. And there's actually a reef protecting it. So the waves don't get real high where I stay. And actually some decent snorkeling. I can't say good, decent snorkeling right off the beach in front of the house. My daughter absolutely loves it. It's cool. But I love it. And, I've got my good friend, big shout out to my boy, Louis. We're going to have him on the show. Louis, he owns Jorge's on the North Shore. He's from San Diego. Pro surfer. Now he's hadn't been a pro surfer for decades at this point, but he opened him. He was a Hispanic guy. We're going to say Mexican on this show because most of my Mexican friends hate it when you call him Hispanic. But he opened a Mexican food restaurant up there on the North Shore. Actually, he was a pro surfer. Found out because he was a great cook that he made more money cooking for pro surfers than he actually did as a pro surfer. So he quickly shifted over to cooking for pro surfers and things like that, and catering. And 30 years later, 25 years later, he's still on the North Shore. He's got a restaurant called Jorge's, and it mixes Hawaiian and Mexican cooking. Phenomenal. His tuna tacos, I call them tuna tacos, but they're ahi tacos. I literally would have those shipped in if I could. It's so great. But anyways, I've got to know him up there. He might be a guest on the show. We're gonna get him at some point. My boy Nate, he owns Haleiwa Distillery. He's got a couple ranches there, and he's got the distillery there, and spent a lot of time at the distillery. He's got some great rum. I've got a bottle coming. It's not here yet. I had to ship it. I couldn't put it in my in my check baggage. So we'll show off that on one of these upcoming shows. But got to know Nate, just a lot of people up there that are phenomenal. Um, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to spending more time up there. But I go to the North Shore because I live like a local, go to the farmers markets, low key, small town, um, very localized. And I will say, if you're going to Hawaii and you want to go spend time on the North Shore, be humble, be respectful. You hear about, you've all watched Blue Crush, which I actually love the movie, and you've got that local stuff, and obviously the boys and the Dahui fighting and stuff like that. Part of that it's real. I mean, it is real. We're not, but it's because it generally happens to people who don't respect the area and the land and stuff like that, and respect the people that live there and that are native Hawaiians. And there's a lot of things that you can do that trigger people, and you just got to know the triggers. And if you go in and you're respectful and things like that, man, you're not gonna have any problems. You're gonna absolutely love it like I do. And but it's rad. Did a lot of snorkeling when I was up there. I did do some touristy stuff. Went to Kualoa Ranch again. I love Kualoa. Being able to go up in the mountains. I actually saw the Jurassic Park tour where they filmed all the Jurassic Park movies. They still have a lot of the movie sets up and stuff like that. It's freaking awesome. Really awesome. So I'll pin my stories. I posted lots of stories the 2 weeks I was there. So I'll pin that to my stories on Instagram. So those of you want to go see the photos and stuff I'll pin those up. I generally do that with my big trips like that, like New York City. I'll pin the Hawaii this go around. Yeah, so I mean, did that. Actually had to tour a couple colleges with my daughter, University of Hawaii and Hawaii Pacific University, which is weird to me that my daughter in 2 years is going to be going to college. Would love love for her to go over there, actually, because that means I probably should get a condo over there, and I can definitely spend some more time in Hawaii. Yeah, so it was a great trip. Like I said, I do things different. A lot of just local stuff. I love going and seeing the local stuff. There's some local surfboard shops and shapers, some restaurants that aren't, everybody hears about Duke's in Waikiki. Did have lunch at Duke's one time. Went to the Palace, though. Actually went to the Palace. We had to go to Waikiki. We had to go to Honolulu because of my daughter doing a college tour. And so went and did that. We had some time afterwards. We actually went and took a guided tour of the palace. It's actually the only palace that is currently on U.S. soil, because it was the last palace, the last kings and queens of the kingdom of Hawaii. And it was phenomenal, absolutely breathtaking, beautiful. And was 2.5, 3 hours of the history of Hawaii. And I feel like anybody that goes there should know the real history. Not you need to know Pearl Harbor and that, but you need to know actually the history of the Hawaiian people. It's phenomenal. So absolutely loved going to that. So yeah, I mean, it was just an awesome trip. Like I said, I've laid some groundwork. I might have a little project in Hawaii at some point. Something I've been working on. Don't know that it's going to happen, but I would love to do a little off-roading and some side-by-sides in Hawaii. There's some amazing off-roading there. And I don't think it's ever really been showcased. So I want to be the guy to showcase it. So we will see. Jim is working on that. They've actually got a motocross track in Hawaii also, on Oahu. I don't think a lot of you know that, but there's a full moto there, big moto scene. I mean, remember X Games way back when, the Flying Hawaiian, I mean, he came from Hawaii in the North Shore, so there's moto, obviously MMA. There's actually a pretty nice skate park. I don't want to say nice. It probably needs a little TLC at this point, but it's actually a really nice skate park right next to Pipeline. Went and snorkeled Pipeline again. I absolutely love snorkeling Pipeline. I got to get that video up because when you can see what's underneath the most dangerous wave in the world, it puts it into perspective why it's so dangerous. And I love that I go in the summertime and it's completely flat. Literally, I can't even say knee high. Flat. And, and it's the same location that, come 4 or 5 months from now is going to be cranking with double overhead and, and just crushing people. So it's pretty awesome. Anyways, I could go on and on about Hawaii and the trip and stuff like that. Absolutely love it. That's one of those too where I've actually been really good. People ask me a lot of questions, and I try and get people steered in the right direction on And if you want to go and you just want a club and nightclub and and hang out on the beach and have people be in a high rise hotel and have people serve you cocktails, like do it but if you want to live like a local, like I do when I go, I got that for you too. Did go to Turtle Bay and hit the golf course. Turtle Bay, a lot of you've seen Sarah Marshall movie, it was all filmed at Turtle Bay, but the golf course, amazing. Good time. Anyways, we got to take a short break. We come back. We got a lot more to talk about right here on the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. Back after this.
The Rigid Chase Lite incorporates 5 modes, including stroke, brake, running, courtesy, and reverse in a compact 7-inch by 2-inch fixture. The Rigid Chase attaches to any roll bar or flat mounting surface, and users can control each of the multiple functions independently. The Rigid Chase is one more way for off-road enthusiasts to own the night.
Welcome back here to the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. So out of nowhere a couple of days ago, big news in IndyCar, Penske Entertainment sold 1/3 of itself to Fox. So Fox Sports, Fox, 1/3 in Penske Entertainment. People are like, what is that? Well, Penske Entertainment owns the IndyCar Series, and it owns the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So Penske Entertainment, basically Fox now controls 1/3 of the IndyCar Series and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is absolutely mega huge because Fox did a big deal a few years back acquiring TV rights, stuff like that, and they've absolutely escalated the IndyCar Series and its value. Nobody's going to argue that. Now, with Fox being 1/3 owner, I mean, one, you're going to get some hella good TV packages, advertising, stuff like that. They put an influx of cash. I think it's anywhere from $125 to $135 million, I heard. But let's go back. Like, obviously, we can go back to the whole IndyCar Champ Car split and how IndyCar used to be bigger than NASCAR at one point, and yada yada yada. We've dissected this for decades and decades, not only on this show but just in the media. But NASCAR struggling right now. Huge struggles by NASCAR. Attendance at the track is in the toilet. Like it's you saw the Brickyard, and I think there was like a crazy amount of fans there, but it still looked empty. Compared to what IndyCar does. But, other tracks, I mean, NASCAR, it's failing to put butts in seats. And then on the other hand, the TV ratings are down. And I think a lot of it's because they've got gimmicks, and it's the truth. It's a win and you're in. You got the playoff system, you got stage racing, and I think a lot of people, purists, just want to go back to, hey man, let's run a series of races, and if it's 500 miles, you green flag till the checker flag, unless there's a crash. There's no gimmicks, there's no stages, there's no bonus points for leading a stage. And then, you know what I mean? At the end of the year, there's no playoffs. If you had the most consistent year, you won the points championship. You know what? That's what IndyCar does, and it's actually working. IndyCar ratings are up. Attendance at their events are great. Outside of there's some, obviously they've got some oval track problems and stuff like that. But you look at their marquee events that are road courses in major in major markets. They're doing extremely, extremely well. Now this influx, and to me, Penske is well off. It's not necessarily the influx of cash into IndyCar that helps, but it's what Fox brings to the table asset-wise. I mean, with their channels, with their networks, with their streaming, with their social media, with their advertising that they own. Man, they can really take IndyCar through the roof. I mean, this is huge, huge. This is what series dream of. And IndyCar now has it, which is, man, it is going to be big. I'm really excited about this. I've been reading, and I wanted to know what the feedback was from teams and stuff like that. And, man, all the teams seem to be absolutely for this. probably because it just increased the value of their teams. Being a team in the series, it increased it quite a bit. And obviously it's not going to be a immediate impact 12 months from now, after IndyCar has a season in the book, with Fox ownership or 1/3 ownership. And I think the value of sponsor dollars, they're going to be able to ask for more. I think they're going to be able to deliver more ROI. I think it's, going to be really good. I mean, Fox has done a really good job of trying to create personalities and people and, and stuff like that. And IndyCar does have some great talent, some great personalities. And I think if Fox now is really going to be able to showcase that, and who knows, maybe we're going to get to see some behind the scenes reality stuff and things like that, which, I think does good for everybody. And I don't know, I'm excited. I think it's going to be really, really fun to see where this goes with Fox and things like that. So big blockbuster news coming out of IndyCar with Fox acquiring 1/3 of Penske Entertainment. So you want entertainment? Let me tell you about a little entertainment. So obviously we've got this Ford build that I did, a live wire. It's a Mustang Mach-E Rally. If you're not familiar with the rally version of the Mustang Mach-E, basically they lifted it up and they made it where you can off-road it. Off-road rally car, and it's electric. If Jim Beaver's ever going to build an electric car, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be a Mach-E Rally, a Mustang Mach-E Rally. And that's exactly what I did. Built this car. We went to IBOC and said, hey, it's got amazing suspension. I need to take it up a notch, a little bit taller, a little bit wider. They did some forged spacers and obviously lifted it with some custom springs that are available to anybody. It's not just custom to me, but cleared some huge General Tire grabber ATXs, and that's what I wanted to do. Put some crazy rigid adapt lights on the front that basically adjust their beam pattern to how fast you're going. Slower, they flood. The faster you go, they start to pencil out. Crazy Ken Block inspired livery, racks on the roof for spare tires and gear. I got my skateboard racks on there. In the rear, we got racks for e-bikes, and got some Kawasaki electrodes on the back. Underneath the hood, which is a carbon fiber hood, a real carbon hood, I put an entire battery system from Red Arc that is absolutely phenomenal. I can run an entire camp for days off of this Red Arc system. And then you look in the trunk, and Tuffy security, put together an awesome thing, an awesome basically storage system in the trunk. We got a kicker subwoofer underneath that storage system. I mean, top to bottom, did this car. It's amazing. I can off-road it. I can actually race this if I pull the racks off in some rallies like Rallycross Fest up at Dirtfish. I can overland it. I can take my skateboards to the park. I can light things up. I can run a camp. I mean, I can run camp lighting. I can do pretty much anything. This is the Swiss Army knife of EVs is what I'm calling it, right? I'm like, man, this is a cool EV. It is. I'm biased, but this is a rad EV, right? And, and I've traditionally been, a guy that's, fire breathing engines and things like that. And, here I am with an electric. And I think that's kind of why Ford liked this project. It's like, Jim is an electric guy. Let's give him an electric, see what he does. I love it. Anybody that's not an electric person, they're loving it, right? Except for a few. So we dropped this project. You ought to see the comments on Instagram. Go to the post. It is hilarious. I did not know that I am now a homosexual. Yes, I am now a homosexual for owning an EV. I did not realize that owning an EV changed my sexuality, but it has, I guess, according to Instagram. And I, from what I understand, this car is going to absolutely ruin the automotive industry. So I learned that electric vehicles are going to ruin the automotive industry. I've been called a lot of things. And then you actually go to an Electrify Expo, and you've got protesters outside. And you would think it would be gas engine people protesting. No, it's electric vehicle people protesting electric vehicles because they want Tesla thrown out and they want the company to be abolished because of the owner. And I'm going, I love this Mustang Mach-E Rally. I love Ford. I love I love gas engines. I love electric engines. Man, this is the torquiest, craziest car I've ever driven. Absolutely a riot to drive. The most fun car I have ever driven. I will say that. And I have driven a lot of vehicles, including trophy trucks. This car, fun to drive. I just like cool stuff. And I think there's some really cool stuff coming out of the electric industry. I did not realize that, going back to the start here, the entertainment that would be caused by owning an electric vehicle. Not only personally, the entertainment, I guess I'm learning a lot about myself from Instagram, being that I am now quote unquote homosexual because I drive an EV, but the entertainment and the infighting from people in the electric vehicle industry. It's crazy. People, like, what is going on? It's nuts. I think it's hilarious. It is entertainment. So what I'm telling you guys is it's actually funny. But you should drive an electric vehicle because, one, they are rad, they are torquey, they are hella fun to drive. The tech is insane. And you should go to an Electrify Expo, man. It's not just electric cars, it's electric scooters, skateboards, bikes, and you can ride everything. It's nuts, but you ought to go and see the rad tech that's coming. The electric tech isn't going away, man. It's rad. But it's a bit silly, man, right now in the world. That being said, I got to talk about Sydney Sweeney for a minute. I'm actually a huge Sydney Sweeney fan. She's got ties to Ford. They actually put out a Ford X Sydney Sweeney apparel line a year and a half, 2 years ago that actually sold out. My daughter was bummed because she didn't get a shirt. Sydney Sweeney, great actress. And obviously not bad on the eyes. So she did this thing with American Eagle that you guys saw all over the internet right now. And I'm like, what in the world is come to now? All of a sudden she is anti-American or like she became a racist. And I'm going, what in the world is going on here? Like, I don't care if it's an electric car. I don't care if it's Sydney Sweeney in jeans for American Eagle. We are entirely as a world, as a planet right now, overthinking things. We're looking for reasons to get triggered. Sydney Sweeney is no more a racist than I am a homosexual, for driving an electric vehicle and her for wearing the wrong brand of jeans. Like, come on, people, we can do better. Literally, this is why we can't have nice things. I think I put out a tweet. The internet and social media should be taken away from half of the planet right now. And I truly believe that. This is why we can't have nice things. Let's have nice things again. Man, it's nuts. What is going on in the world? It is absolutely nuts. So as we crank through this, I do want to mention I got a day one Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm just checking stuff off my sheet. Shows, we're getting towards the end of the show, and I'm like, what did I want to rant on today? We're gonna get back to guests next week, I promise you. But what did I want to rant on today? Nintendo Switch 2. This thing is a problem for me. Bought it. Mario Kart World is what you'd expect. It's awesome. Haven't tried Donkey Kong yet. Bonanza. Tony Hawk 2 came out. It's a problem. Or not 2. They had 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4. This is the second Tony Hawk reissue that they've come out with. And it's a problem. I can sit there in my chair, watch TV, and play Tony Hawk at the same time, and then beam it to the TV when I want to. It's crazy. I've got 20-some hours into Cyberpunk. I've always wanted to play that game. Now it's portable. I can play it on airplanes. I can play it in a hotel room. I can play it on the go. It's got the Switch 2. I am sold. It is amazing. The graphics, I loved my original Switch, but this thing just takes things up a couple notches. Everything is better about it, including the graphics. But it didn't change enough. It didn't need to. They changed what needed to be changed. It's great. When I can play a game like Cyberpunk on a portable, on the go, that's crazy. So yeah, I am sold. If you've on the cusp of whether you should buy a Switch 2 or not, yes, buy it. You will like it. Everybody's like, oh, the price point. Just buy one and be happy. It's going to be around for a while. The games are phenomenal. The graphics are insane, especially for a portable. You can also play 4K on your TV. So I'm just saying it's got my endorsement. Obviously, I'm in some of my esports chats and things like that. So, and everybody's asking me how it is, and it's great. It's great. Speaking of esports and stuff, looking at opening up a Discord channel for not only this show but for everything I do. Because I've got my hands in so many different things, I felt like a Discord might be kind of rad to be able to sort through things. Hey, here's Jim Beaver Esports. Here's Jim Beaver YouTube and podcasts. Here's Jim Beaver's travels. Here's Jim Beaver's car builds. And stuff like that. And kind of that way I can have these sections for all this stuff and talk, and you guys can have dialogue. So if you think that's something you might like, hit me up. Let me know. I would love to get your feedback on that. Because it's something I actually really would like to do. So I'd love to get your feedback. So yeah, I think we're up against a commercial break. Yeah, those of you watching the YouTube version, I'm tapping out on YouTube. But for those of you that are national, we'll be back right after this to wrap up the show. Thanks for tuning in.